Okay, in the last session, we discussed about the filter functions, right? As part of the filter function, I just started with the calculate. And today we will continue with the calculate, and also we will take a look at calculate table and the other functions, whatever you see here, okay? And then we will jump into the table related functions. Okay, so what is calculate function? Calculate function we discussed already. What is a calculate function? So when we can use calculate function, this is one of the simplest function, but yet it is very powerful function, okay, using which you can do a lot of things, right? So with calculate function, we can modify the existing filter context in each row by overriding it, okay? Along with the all function. All function is also another important function, okay? With that, you can remove the filter, okay? And also, if the filter context specified by a filter condition already exists, it will override the already existing filter. You can add a filter context, you can override the existing filter context, you can modify the existing filter context. That is what you can do it with calculate function. These are the arguments that you need to pass it. This is the syntax for this. Already we discussed it, okay? And what I hope you would have reviewed my videos, right? So all your videos are available under this link. Going forward, we'll share this link also, not this one, and your playlist is this one, the December batch. This is the one. Everything is there. It is mandatory that you should have watched these videos, okay, including part 1 and part 2. All right, so this is the one is very much important. If you don't watch this video, it will be difficult, okay? And another thing is like, fine, you should have watched that one, okay? And because we have discussed about in the last session, the very important concept, the evaluation context. What is row context? What is the filter context? How we can do the context transition from row context to filter context? How we can do that? So, is there any way if we can? Is there any way both the contexts can coexist? That is also have demonstrated it. Okay. And again, so today we will continue with the calculate function. Just a quick recap. The evaluation order also we discussed as part of the calculate function. In what order it evaluates the calculate function. And then the next one is today we will work on this simple assignment so that you'll be able to solidify your understanding around the calculate function and filter function also. For this assignment, you need to have some knowledge in filter function as well, okay? So before that, I just go and, I head back to the Power BI desktop, and then here we will take a look at the certain basic things, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the card visual. Okay, here I'm going to create the new measure. So already I have created the measure here. Total sales. In the last session we have created total sales measure. So this is my total sales, sum of sales. Okay, what I do is this measure. So here what I am doing is the sales column. I'm going to find out the total, right? What is the total sales we made in this file? Okay. So this is the file name or the table name. In this table, for in this column, we are going to do the total, overall total. For this, I have used the DAX function sum. This one I have assigned it with the total sales sum. Okay. So what I do is I just drag and drop this one here, this measure. Look here on the right side, we can see that you just drag and drop this. As I said, the measure will not store the value as part of your table, like calculated column. So this measure, the moment when you invoke this one by dropping this into visual, it will get calculated on the fly. It is not a pre-calculated value. Fine, this is fine. So this is my total sales. Okay, what I do is, in the interest of time, I just copy paste this. And now I just remove this one. So what I will do is I will just select the sales column directly from this. Look here, the sales column, and then I will drop it here. Even this sales column, I did not use any measure for the sales column. I just dropped the sales column from here to here. I just dropped the sales column from here to here. It automatically gives me the total sales. It gives me the total sales. I did not use any measure. Why? Why are we getting the total sales the moment when I drop the sales column here? I just dropped the column here. Whereas here I have dropped the measure. In this measure I will use the sum function, whereas it is, but that is because the columns that have the numeric data type. Yeah, this is implicit measure, right? Implicit measure. Very good. This is an implicit measure. Okay. So in the sales column, if you see here, the sum, right? By default, it performs the aggregation function. It uses the aggregation function sum for the numeric data types, right? Numeric variables. Fine. And what I'm going to do is I just do one more thing. I just copy this and paste it here. This time, what I am going to do is I'm going to use another measure. Let me do one thing here. I think I have used the sales amount measure. In the interest of time, yeah, sales amount measure here. This time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this one. See, this for this, I'm going to remove this one. This time, I'm going to use this measure. In this measure, I have used the sumx function. It is an iterator function. Since it is an iterator function, the first argument, suppose your table name, followed by this, the expression. This expression will get evaluated row by row. So though I have created, I'm using the sumx function, the measure, but still, since I'm using the iterating function, it will evaluate this expression one row at a time, or it will evaluate this expression row by row. Okay. So now if I drop this, what value am I going to get? List price into quantity. What value am I going to get? What value am I going to get? I'm using the sumx function, not sum function. Profit, price into quantity. Okay, so what I will do is I'll the sales amount measure. This is the one, I just drop it here. This is not profit. Same value, sales amount, correct. We are getting the sales. So all these three things give the same value. And I'm going to copy paste this again here. Okay, here what I'm doing is I'm going to use something else called total sales. See, if I type everything, create each and every measure, it will take time. Okay, that is the reason why I'm reusing the existing one. Look here, this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this one. I have, instead of using sum of sales, I have wrapped this sum of sales function inside a calculate function. So when I drop this measure here, what am I going to get? What value am I going to get? What value am I going to get? See here, do you remember the syntax here? Nitesh Kumar, same value, excellent, right? Nitesh has given. So here, the first argument, see in the case of calculate expression, see here, the first argument is supposed to be your expression, rest of them are optional. Either you can specify filter or you don't have to specify filter. In this case, I did not specify any filter. So what will happen? It will give me the, the total sales only. Since I did not specify any filter, it gives me the total sales. Look here, there are 4 different measures, right? So one is the implicit measure, rest of them are like explicit measure. All these measures, implicit and explicit measures, gives me the same value. This is the fundamental thing you should be aware of it. Before we dive into the other filter functions, you need to be aware of this one. Okay, next one is, okay, I'm going to create a matrix now. I'm going to create a matrix now. Okay. I just select this matrix, just put it here. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for example, this total sales calc, right? So I just put this one here. Okay, and then the next one is I'm going to category. We'll start with the simple one. Category. I drop this one here along with this. So now it gives me the breakup, the sales breakup across all the category. Fine. Now I just introduce a slicer here. Here I just select the country column. For example, if I select Albania, it shows the breakdown, the sales breakdown across these categories. Okay, and what I do is I just drop the segment here, segment column in this matrix. So now we can see that in each segment, now it gives me the different breakdown, right? The furniture and consumer. So this is my category and this is my segment. In this, for it does the implicit filter. It does the implicit. We discussed about the initial filter context, right? So the same thing is happening here. So now what I am going to do is I'm going to create another measure. So we wanted to compare the Albania sales. This is my Albania sales with my United Kingdom sales. United Kingdom sales, why we need to compare the United Kingdom sales with Albania sales? Because I have selected Albania sales across this segment, right? Why we need to compare this? Because let's say, my base location is United Kingdom. So for that, I have already created a visual, the matrix here. Sorry, the measure. Total sales in United Kingdom. For the, anyhow, I will just check it out here. Look here, United Kingdom. So before I drop this one here, anyhow, I will just drop this here in this visual. Okay, here what is happening here is total sales in United Kingdom. Okay, total sales in United Kingdom. Let me just check, are there any problems? United Kingdom. Okay. Let me do one thing. I will just remove this for the time being. Okay, what we'll do is we'll first check, the thing here. Okay, I just selected the chord visual, another chord visual. I'm going to use another chord visual. Okay, first we will check it out whether it gives any value or not, because before you put it here, so maybe, right? Yeah. So what I'm going, total sales in United Kingdom. United Kingdom, fine. Here I have used the filter table expression filter. It gives me the blank value here. Why? And here the another total sales in United Kingdom. This gives me some value here. Look here. If I see here, I have used the Boolean filter here. I have used the Boolean filter equal to United Kingdom. But here, in this case, it is not giving me any value here. So what could be the reason here? Total sales in United Kingdom. Okay, what I will do is This is United States. Okay. And here it is not giving anything. So what is the problem here? Can someone tell me? Can I use double equal sign? Is that the problem here? Let me see when it is something wrong for me. This one works fine, but whereas this one is not displaying the correct value. What could be the reason? Is that a case sensitive? 1 second. Let me just go here and select this one again. Sales W04 country. I don't know why it is not opening. This is the one, the tick mark. This is the one has been used here. And let's see what is the difference between these two here. Everything is same. And sales W, it is a Boolean filter, whereas here I have used the filter function, table expression function. But it is not doing the filter here. There is something wrong here. Country equal to United Kingdom. It is correct only, right? Sales W04, country equal to United Kingdom. Okay, what I will do is I will just, sorry, I am not going to do anything here. I'm going to create another measure. Let us see if this one is going to return, yeah, the measure, right? So here I'll see the filter function returns a table. But that table, I'm going to use it here. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a new table here. Sorry. Yeah, before that, I will go and see here the sales W04. We have the country column here. We don't have any filter here applied. Okay, here we don't see anything here. All these things are there here, right? So including United States is there, United Kingdom is there. Okay, otherwise it will not display that one at all. The equal sign. This is a Boolean filter. This is the filter function. I use it here. It gives me blank here in this case. The filter function, the first argument is supposed to be this one. Let me do one thing. I will just spelling everything correct, right? Let me just probably replace this one with this and see if any problem here. Here it is showing blank. What happened now? How did I get it? Here I selected Albania. Okay. Since this one got selected, yes, right. We need one more close parenthesis. No, we don't need it. Look here. I'm going to clear this selection here. Now it is displaying it correctly. Here, what is happening here? Here I have used the calculate function, but the filter I have used the United Kingdom. Okay, and here, okay, now here I did not use anything here. Look here, I did not use the filter function. Instead of filter function is nothing but the table expression, right? Table filter function. This is Boolean expression. But with the Boolean expression, irrespective of the value that I selected here, it is working fine, right? It is overriding this filter, but in this case, the filter function, I've used this filter here, but it is not doing correct thing here, okay? So now, if I unselect it, we are able to get it here, okay? All the other values are displaying it correctly. And here also it is displaying it correctly, okay? But now, if you look at here, these two things, both of them returns the same value, gives me the same value, United Kingdom sales. Okay. But the difference is here I've used the table expression, right? Table filter expression, the filter function. But whereas here I've used the Boolean filter function. Okay. So now what I do is the requirement is they want us to display the United Kingdom sales breakdown by the category so that they can compare whatever the country that is. Supposing when I select Albania here, okay, what I do is in this case, I just total sales. I just drop this here. And each segment we want to compare it. So what I will do is probably I will remove segment for the time being. So that is pretty simple. Okay. And across each category in Albania, how much sales we made? In Albania, furniture in total, we generated 777. This is the sales we were able to achieve it in this category. But in United Kingdom, it is for good, right? So UK is for, because this is the base location, and likewise we can compare. So if you want to compare the United Kingdom sales with other country, so I have used the Boolean expression here. Okay, I have used the Boolean expression. So now the question is, when can I use the Boolean expression? When can I use the filter function? So when can I use the Boolean function? When can I use the filter function? Using the Boolean function also we can, using the Boolean expression also we can filter the data. And at the same time, using the filter function also we can filter the data. What is the difference here? So what the best practice is, wherever it is possible, you can use the Boolean expression, like the country equal to United Kingdom. Boolean expression. Wherever it is possible, you can use the Boolean expression. Why? In the case of import, right, the data are stored in memory, right? In memory column stores. They are explicitly optimized to efficiently handle the filter columns in this way. Okay, so hence you can use Boolean expressions in the case of import model. However, right, you cannot use Boolean expression to filter data in different in other conditions, like different so there are some exceptions. Okay, you are not supposed to use Boolean expressions. The limitation is, right, you cannot reference column from multiple tables. If you use the Boolean expression, you cannot reference a measure. You cannot reference a measure. For example, here, if I want to compare with a measure here, it is not possible. And also you cannot use nested calculate function. Can I nest a calculate function inside a calculate function? Yes, you can have a nested calculate function. In that kind of situation, you cannot use the Boolean expression, or you cannot use functions, right? That can scan the on or return a table. In that kind of situation, you cannot use the Boolean expression. In that kind of situation, the filter function is very much helpful. Okay. The filter function is also called as a table expression. This is Boolean expression. The other one is the table expression. Okay. Fine. Here, okay, this is what we have done it. Okay. So now the calculate function, with this you are able to understand, right? So when I select this one, Albania, what happens is the matrix, in this matrix, what happens is it respects the external filter. This is your external filter, the slicer. Whatever the selection you made it respects that. It gives you the sales breakdown by category. But here I want to compare irrespective of the country that you selected. Along with that, I want to compare side by side the United Kingdom sales. So in that kind of situation, even though you have applied the filter, right? This filter comes from outside of the matrix, right? Outside of the matrix. But what happens here is since we have used the measure wherein I have used the calculate function, Boolean expression, right? The calculate, what happened, the calculate, what he does is it overrides the filter context here. Hey, even if you select Albania, don't display Albania sales here. Display only United Kingdom. Overrides or modifies the filter context in this case, the calculate function with the Boolean expression. Got it? Okay, so now we understood using the calculate function. See, we have created a new, we added a new filter condition with the help of the calculate function, right? So the where country equal to United Kingdom, we created a new filter condition. This condition overrides or modifies the existing filter condition. Okay, that is what we can do with the calculate function. The next one is the order of evaluation. Already we discussed in the yesterday's session. This is very, very important, especially when you write any DAX query, you need to take into account of this one. You need to remember this so that you can optimize your performance. Next one is the key business questions. So these are the key business questions. When you had a workshop with the different line of business managers, they have given you, this is the expectation, or a specific department. When you had a discussion with sales department, vice president, he gave you this kind of requirement, or the department people from the sales, they've given, these are the requirements from our side. We need to create a report for this, and we need to answer the business questions for this. How can you do this? Okay, before we get into this assignment, let us understand a couple of other functions so that after understanding that function, you will be able to solve this business questions. Okay. Next one is the calculate table. What is the calculate table? The calculate function returns the scalar value. What is scalar value? Single value. Whereas the calculate table returns a table. It returns a table. Okay. But like calculate function, the calculate table also apply it modifies the filter context. Okay, evaluates the table expression in a context modified by the given filters. Since as the name suggests, calculate table, the first argument is supposed to be your table. Okay, it is table. It's not expression. Sorry. Okay, it is a table. Okay, you need to specify the table, and followed by that the filter condition. Okay. The filters can be anything. It can be a Boolean filter. It can be a table filter, the filter function, or filter modification function, which we are going to take a look at it shortly. Okay. So here, look here, this is an example, calculate table fact sales. The first argument is supposed to be a table because it's a table, right? The calculate ends with table, as the name suggests. The first argument is supposed to be table, and followed by this, the optional filter. If you simply specify fact sales, it will take the copy of your fact sales and it duplicates the table. That's all. But here what we are doing is, hey, I don't want to take the entire fact sales table. What you do is you filter this table based on this condition and then return a table and return the table. Okay. You can do it. So, and you can apply the filter here. Okay. And now the question is, what is the difference between calculate and calculate table? So before we dive in there, first we will start with work with the calculate table. Okay. I just go here and already I have created the calculate table. Look here, this is the calculate table measure. The calculate table, the San Francisco, have used it. If you go here, calculate table sales in, okay, sorry, this is, we will look at this one, United Kingdom, okay. Calculate table. So here, this is not a measure. Since calculate table returns a table, what you need to do is go to modeling and click on the new table, not the new measure. For example, I'm going to, because already it is available, I just click on the tick mark here. So this one, the calculate table should return a table. That table should consist of only the records that are relevant to United Kingdom. Fine, no error, nothing. And I just go to the data view and just check the table which I created. Look here, what is that? My table name, the calculate table name, United Kingdom 1. So, okay, why it is showing only this one? Yeah, this is the one, right? The second United Kingdom. This is the one I created just now. And if you see here in the country column, all these records are related. It's filtered one. See, I want to have the subset of the table. I don't want to use the entire table. If you want to, take the subset of the data and then store it in a table, you can use calculate table. Calculate table function. Okay, but you need to use the calculate table function in the. You need to create the calculate table. You need to use the calculate table in the new table, not in the measure. For example, if I create it here, let us see what happens. If I put it here, for example, 2 here, okay, I just hit this tick sign. Look here, the expression refers to multiple columns. Multiple columns cannot be converted to scalar value. Okay, in the case of measure, right? So it should you should have only the scalar value because the calculate table have multiple columns, right? Well, all the columns will be returned for this condition. Okay, it will take the subset of the United Kingdom related records. In that records, all the columns will be, all the columns will be created, right? So all the columns will be available. Since it returns more than one column, you cannot create a measure. Okay, so I did it intentionally because you are not supposed to do this mistake in the real-time scenario. Okay, and don't panic, right? So I just created the calculate table. In the measure, it is not working because the calculate table returns multiple columns, not a scalar value. In that kind of situation, you need to go for the new table. Now you understood when you can use the measure, when you can use the new table. Okay, new column is your calculated column that we discussed in the last session. Okay, so now we understood what is calculate table. Okay, now what is the difference between calculate and calculate table? It's pretty simple. The calculate function returns a scalar value, whereas the calculate table returns a table. That's it, guys. But both the function helps modify the filter context. The next one is the filter function. Okay, what is a filter function? The filter function, okay, it is a table function. Even the filter is also a table function. It is both a table as well as an iterator function. This is what you need to remember it. So as I've been discussing about the iterator function, since I started the DAX topic, right? The iterator function ends with x, sum x, average x, count x, count ax, average ax, x. The functions that ends with x. Those are all iterator function. Those iterator function, it will iterate each and every row in your data set. But the filter function is also an iterator function, and also it is a table function. Okay, here this one is not end with x. Since the filter function, right, the filter doesn't ends with x, that doesn't mean it is not an iterator function. You need to remember this, okay? It is both a table as well as the iterator because it returns a table. Okay, what this filter function does is it returns a table based on one or more filter expressions. Okay, it returns a table. Then why we call it an iterator? Okay. Okay, so in this case, it creates a row context for each row of the table in the first argument. In the first argument is your table, right? So which makes it possible to evaluate the condition evaluate the condition. So look here it scans this table. In this case, what happens while scanning it, row by row, it has to evaluate the expression, whatever you specified as part of your filter conditions. For example, country equal to United Kingdom. That filter condition has to be evaluated row by row. And at the same time, the filter function, right, it is in general, we use it to reduce the number of rows to scan, because the filter also accesses different filter arguments, right, where you can reduce the number of rows that you want to bring back from your virtual table. Okay. The simple example is, okay, for example, here, it creates a virtual table. Okay, that you need to remember it. The table, the first argument is a table. You need to specify the table that needs to be filtered, which means the table, which you want to take the subset of the data. And then next one, the Boolean expression. The Boolean expression that needs to be evaluated for each row of the table. Hence, it has to iterate each and every row. Look here, this is the example. I want to sum of sales. This is nothing but sum of sales. As I told you, a measure can be used in another measure. The sales is more than 200 is a measure, new measure we are going to create it. In this one, I am going to reuse a previously created measure. You can use a measure in another measure. Okay, this is nothing but sum of sales. Here, what I do is don't do the sum of sales for the entire table of fact sales. What you do is, for those sales we made more than 200, only for this subset of the data you find the total sales. In this case, the table expression, right, or the filter, what it does is, behind the scene, it creates a virtual table. See, the DAX engines, right, behind the scene, the DAX engines are creating this virtual engine. This is a virtual table, the virtual calculator table, and this is the filtered version of your facts sales table in the background. Okay, once this table is created, what DAX is doing here is it evaluates the total sales measure against this filter table. That's it. The interview, they ask you, so in the case of filter function, right, so what is going to happen if I use a filter function? What is going to happen? DAX engines, behind the scene, it creates a calculator table. It's a virtual table. And then if you wrap the filter function inside the calculate, right, in the calculate, for example, in the calculate, the first argument is my expression, sum of sales. So in that case, what will happen is it will apply the sum of sales on this virtual table. That's all, guys. Maybe, right, they'll ask you to share your screen. They will share their screen. They will say, they'll ask you, right, so how this measure is getting evaluated. How this measure is getting evaluated. So behind this, in what sense we have used the filter function, it creates a virtual table based on the filter criteria, whatever we mentioned. On top of this, it applies some other sale. That's all. This is how it is being evaluated. The filter function also returns a table. Okay. So can I go ahead and create the filter function here? For example, I just go here and click on the new table. Can I use it as a standalone function? Do I have to use it all the time inside the calculate function? That is the question. I just go here. The filter table. The filter table UK, something like that. Okay, here what it is, filter function. The table is here the sales W04, comma, country is equal to United Kingdom. Yes, no error, right? So, and if you see here, if you go to the data view, what is the name that I've given it for this filter, right? Somewhere I've given the filter. Look here, filter table UK. Look here, if I select this one, it gives me the filter function, right? Using filter function also, we can create the subset of the, we can create the subset of the table, right? Okay, and using calculate table also, we can create the subset of the data. Then what is the difference between calculate table and filter function? This is the next question. Okay, you just remember this, filter function will not do the context transition, whereas the calculate table will do the context transition. Like calculate function, the calculate table also does the context transition. Okay. Next one is the all function. The all function also falls under the filter function category. I just go here. So what is an all function? Before that, let us understand the syntax. The first argument of your all function is supposed to be table, and second arguments are supposed to be your column. Okay. The all function, it returns all the rows in a table or all the values in a column, but it ignores or disregards the filters, or it clears any initial filters that might have been applied. You remember initial filter context. I discussed about it. The initial filter context come from, what are the sources the initial filter context can come? Arvind, what are the sources that the initial filter context can come? Arvind, or how about Nitesh? Nitesh or Pravatpadi? We discussed about initial filter context, right? What are the sources that initial filter context can come? Initial filters.
Implicit filter.
What is that?
Implicit filter.
Yeah, that is the implicit filter. In which visual that I explained you in the last session? Matrix. Guys, you forgot this matrix. Look here, if I see in this case, what happens? Here, I just dropped this column, right? The measure here. This measure is nothing but sum of sales. But here the total sales for the Albania country is 3,525. That's all. For this, I did not write any specific formula, isn't it? In the total sales calculate measure, I used sum of sales, or sorry, calculate. Inside the calculate function, I use this sum of sales. That's all right. Sum of sales. Did I specify sum of sales where category is equal to furniture, office supplies, tech? No, right? So the initial filter context comes from the row here in this case. Even for this, it comes from the row. So guys, you want me to go back to the previous discussion, what we had it? How many of you remember this topic? Arvind. Oh, okay. No, I did not mute you. I unmuted you all. No, I unmuted. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Pravat. I don't
No,
know.
no, sir. That time I was talking about that.
Oh, okay. Fine. So this is prayer message, right? Okay. So by default, look here. So guys, I just clear it. Please concentrate here. I don't know why you're not able to. This is a very basic thing. Look here. This is the matrix. Look here. Forget about all these things. Okay. And this is the fundamental thing. Look here. In my sales table, if I use the sales column here, this one comes from my, look here. I just minimize this one because we have created so many tables. See, this is my sales W04. Listen very carefully. If I drop this sales column, what is going to happen? What is going to happen? It gives me the total sales. You understand or not? This is the fundamental thing, right? This is the sales. It gives me the total sales. Along with that, if I drop the category column, here I did not use any measure. See, listen very carefully. I just see when you drop any numeric data type, right? Any numeric variable or numeric column, it gives you the totals is by default. That is what I discussed even. See, what is this one? What is this? I just dragged and dropped the sales column here, right? This is implicit measure. Okay, I have used the implicit measure. It gives me the sum of sales. Along with that, when I drop a column, text column, what will happen? It gives me the breakdown of this value. It gives me the breakdown of the category, right? The sales. So it gives me the breakdown of sales by category. It automatically, filters, the total. See, what happens here is, see, this one comes from your category column, and this one is this, right? So what happens? See, in this case, we are using only one table. It does the filtering automatically. First, what happens is it takes the furniture category, and then it groups all the records that are relevant to furniture, and then it applies the sum on the sales column. So this has been done automatically. I simply dragged and dropped the sales, right? When I drop the sales, it gives me the total sales. But along with that, when I drop the text column, so in this case, the category is a text column, it gives me the breakdown of the sales. How is it possible? Because of, right, it's a relationship, right? In this case, since this category is also available as part of the sales table, it gives me the breakdown automatically. I did not write any measure here. In this case, what is the initial filter context? The rows, furniture. Arvind, எல்லாம் மறந்துட்டீங்களா?
Sir, yeah, தெரியுது sir.
You remember, right? You tell me, then you are able to understand, right? Initial filter.
Yeah, I can.
All of you know this one, right?
It is a context transition.
No. By default, row level filter in this case. But if I drop any other column, look here. In this case, when I drop the segment column, so if you are able to understand, you tell me. Otherwise, I don't have to explain. It will waste your time. So what happens in this case? The filter comes from row and column. So in this case, instead of grouping only the furniture, first thing is, right, and it goes and filter all the records that are relevant to furniture. And then within that filter furniture related categories, you apply another filter, consumer, right? You do the sum of sales on the consumer and furniture. Okay. So this is the initial filter. Okay. So what I want to is, okay, the next one is all function. We'll take a look at the all function. This is the initial filter context. So what is the all function does? The all function clears any initial filter context. Okay. And this is very much helpful for clearing the filters and creating calculation, all the rows in a table. All will only work with the physical table reference. Remember this. Here I'm going to take a look at this one. All, I think all already created a measure. All sales. I just select this one. Look here, total sales. You remember, total sales is a measure. I just show you because some other people, you did not attend the previous session. Look here, the total sales was the measure already created, right? So this is for United Kingdom. Yeah, this is the one, total sales, same, sum of sales. I'm going to reuse this measure in all. I use the same thing here, okay? So let's in all measure total, not that one, the all sales. Okay, so here I have used the other thing, right? So total sales, let me do one thing, total sales. Here I use the M here. This is the, yeah, this is the one. Okay, I'm going to use the total sales. Okay, sum of sales. So this is a measure. I'm going to use this measure in another measure. So what is that measure? That is what I was trying to tell. So again, we will just see, yeah, this is the one. Okay, total sales. Look here, the total sales measure. I have reused it here because in this I've used the formula sum of sales, total sales equal to sum of sales. Okay, so now if I specify the total sales, I don't have to use the sum of sales again here. Okay, I'm going to reuse the measure. And then in the calculate function, the first argument supposed to your expression. In the expression, I'm using another measure, the previously created measure. Okay, fine. What is the next thing? The all function. What is this all function does? It disregards or ignores all the filters. The initial filter, the initial filters it ignores, and also any external filters also it ignores. Okay, what I will do is I will just make it, there is a spelling mistake here, total sales. I think I intentionally gave it because so many things were there. And I'm going to hit this tick mark so that this one will get evaluated. Okay, all measure total sales. Okay, I just drag and drop this. What is going to happen here? It simply ignores the initial filter context. And for example, the external filter also, Albania. If I select Albania, this is what is happening. What you can understand from here? What you can understand from here? So what is this total? This total is all the country put together. What is the total sales? This total gives me, tell me in United Kingdom, what is the total sales? And here, tell me the total sales for this specific country, and also give me the breakdown by category for each and everything. But whereas here, it ignores the row context, row filter, right? It ignores the row filter. The default one is the row filter, right? The initial filter. The initial filter is nothing, row filter. The row filter, okay? It is doing the row filter here. Even in this case, I've used the calculate function, but here it is, undergoing the initial filter, okay? But whereas the all function along with the calculate function, what happens is simply ignores the local things also. It's something like, right, he doesn't listen to the parents in the house people and the outside people also, right? The public also, they don't listen to their thing. And even at home also, they never listen, the advice, something like that. Okay, simple analogy. Maybe it's a stupid analogy, but with this you can understand. So what this function, the all function does is, hey, no matter what filter you applied in the slicer or internally, I will display the total repeatedly. I will not obey the internal initial filter, external filter, full stop. Understood? With this explanation, are you able to understand? It ignores the filter. So whereas here, right, it is Nitesh Kumar, yes, right, the row filter It is, but in this case, right, even in this case, the calculate function, it obeys the internal filter. So the furniture, what is the total sales? Office supplies, what is the source? Okay, fine. But here it gives me the breakdown of Albania. But here what happens, the calculate function, it overrides the external filter, but it respects the internal filter, row filter. It give me the breakdown, but here it is not respecting the external filter. It is not respecting the internal filter. Prabhat, are you able to understand or not? Prabhat, Arvind.
Yes, sir.
Arvind?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. Okay, fine. So if you are able to understand, tell me yes, right? Okay, fine. Be generous here. Right? So this is the one. So now the question is, what is the point in displaying these values across the rows repeatedly? Why we need to do this one? Nitesh, you can tell me, you watched all my videos, right? Why we need these values to be displayed? So what we wanted to see is, we wanted to see,
We can compare.
yeah, so we wanted to, divide, this value by, so for example, I wanted to understand each category, what is the, revenue contribution by each category of my United Kingdom out of the total sales. So 1,29,000 divided by this, 1,41,000 divided by this, this one divided by this one will give me the into 100. That will give me the percentage, right? So how much percentage United Kingdom, sorry, how much percentage of revenue we generated in each category, sorry, out of the total sales. Out of the total sales, how much percentage of revenue we generated, okay, across the category. In terms of percentage, you want to see it. So for that, in the Excel, it is very simple, right? In the Excel, for example, you have a column like this. And if I give you some value, what you do is, for example, this is the total. Somewhere you'll put in one cell, you will put this value. What you do is, you take this value divided by that value, take this value divided by. So what you do is, in this column, in this cell, you take the equal sign, this value divided by that single cell value, 1,13,000, you put it. And then here you use the equal sign, this cell value divided by this one. But unlike Excel, or like Excel, you cannot do the same way here. Okay. So here, if you have this value displayed alongside of this one, this partition, divide this one by this into 100, divide this one by this into 100, divide this one by this 100. Right? Only when you display the totals is along with this, it is possible to compute the percentage of sales generated in United Kingdom across these three categories. Now we will see, so for this, what you need to do is, we need to take this value and divide it by this one. So there is a function called divide. Let me do one thing here, divide. Or the percentage, I think so, percentage, I used it. Percentage of sales all. Look here, this is the measure. Here what I'm doing is, take the total sales divided by all measures total sales. Okay, let me do one thing here. I think, yeah, I have used the all measure here. Okay, all measure total is this one, right? All measure total sales is this one. So this is the one, right? So you take this one and this one. So here, if I put this one, right? Here in this case, I need to use the total sales in United Kingdom, right? So here, okay, what I'll do is, or else we will go by this one. Okay, all measure percentage. What I'll do is, I will just percent. It is not there. Only one thing I have created, percent, right? Percentage of sales here. Here, what I am going to do is total sales calc. Okay, otherwise I'll just copy this. And I'm going to create a new measure. Total sales in United, this is the measure name. This is the measure name. Okay. You can rename this column name also. I will show you that one little later because this one is helpful when you write any new measure based on this. So here all measure totals. Okay. And here what I am going to do is I'm going to reuse the measure. Calculate sales in US. Sorry, calc sales in US. Sorry, UK, United Kingdom, right? 1 second here. Sorry, your total sales in United Kingdom. Okay, 1 second. This is the all function that we have used it. That's why I'm using it here. Total sales in here. I'm going to reuse the measure. Total sales in United Kingdom. This is a measure. Okay, in this measure, what did I use it? Calculate total sales, comma, country equal to United Kingdom, right? That is the formula that I used it in this measure. I'm going to reuse this measure, comma, in the denominator, I'm going to use this column, right? All measure total sales, comma 0. So this is a numerator, this is a denominator. Okay. So what is the sales we made in United Kingdom divided by total sales? This gives me the percentage, right? It gives me the percentage. Comma 0, if I put it, what is this comma 0? In case if anything divided by 0, what is that? 0 divided by anything is 0. In case anything divided by 0. For example, if this one gives me 0 by, by chance, right? It will return error. Instead, you replace that with 0 here. Okay. That is what I'm doing it. All sales, percentage of all sales, percentage of sales, all UK. Okay, we are done with this percentage of sales, all UK. I just drag this and drop it here. Okay, it gives me the percentage, right? So this one, 1,29,000 divided by 1 lakh. So this is 1 million, right? Okay, all UK and 1,29,000 divided by. Sorry, it gives me, one. Yeah, this is the one. 1 lakh. This is 1 million, but it gives me 0.01, 0.01, 0.02, 0.04. Okay, percentage. Okay, what is the wrong? Is this correct? 1,29,000 out of the 1,13,000. 1 million, 10 lakh. Yeah, 1 lakh divided by 1 divided by 10, right? 0.01. It gives me that one. Okay. Or if you want this one to be displayed it in 100, right? So you can put it this way also. Is that correct? 100. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, this one gives me the percentage, right? So 1.15 percentage, 1.81. No, this is. I'm going to remove this one. Or you can use the 100 also, okay? Because I mentioned the percentage of sales. In this case, it shows us the ratio. It shows us the ratio, right? 0.01. Yeah, 0.01, right? So 1 divided by 10 is something 0.01 percentage of sales we made, 0.01 percentage. But here we have 0.02%. Out of the total sales, we could see that in technology, we could see an increase in this one. Now we wanted to see what is the sales we have achieved in Albania compared to this one. How can you do this one? In this case, we need to use the divide function. The total sales in United Kingdom. That is what I used it, right? Yeah, total sales in United Kingdom. That is the one holding this one, right? So and here, for example, right, along with this, I wanted to see, okay, how much revenue we made compared to what is the sales, what is the percentage sales we have generated in Albania compared to the United Kingdom, right? So for that, this is another insight. So in that case, how will you do that? So again, you need to take the all measures, for the United Kingdom, right? So 47575 should be displayed, and then this one needs to be divided by this one. Okay, or can I, so here you cannot do this, right? So yeah, so okay, how will you find out? How will you obtain this one? I want to take this value and divide this by the total sales made in United Kingdom. How can I do this one? So that you can try it out. That is an assignment. You can probably use this measure and you can try it out. Okay, I will share this one later, and then you can use my report file and then you can give it a try. So now you understood the purpose of using the all measure. So the all measure, it ignores the internal filter and then the external filter also. No matter what value is selected here, it repeats the total sales. All the country put together, what is the total sales? Okay, fine. So here what we did, percentage of sales, in United Kingdom. Similarly, or you can do this way, right? So you can take this value and divide it this one. It is simple. Instead of using total sales in United Kingdom, total sales calculum, in the divide, the numerator should be this one and the denominator should be this one. That's all here. You can give this one. But this is very, very small value. Probably you can try some other country where you have achieved more sales. Here, what we will do is, I will use drop down here. Probably you can use the United States or something like that. United States. We'll see in United States how much sales we made. Look here, the United States gives me the decent figure, right? So in that case, the percentage will be more here. Okay. So can you try this? You take this value, total sales in the divide, inside the divide function. The first one is this one and second one is this one, comma 0, that's all, right? And that is the one will give you the percentage of sales that we achieved in United States compared to the total sales. Got it? Fine. So now we understood the purpose of the all function. Okay. Only thing is, right, if you display the total sales alongside of each and every row, it'll be, you take this value, divide this, take this value, divide this. So, or if you want to take this value and divide this one. Okay, for this, you need to create another measure. Okay, but in the case of Excel, we don't have to have the repeated values. If you have this value in a single cell, for example, here you in the Excel, you have cell, this value is there. Here, what you do, equal sign, you put the, you type the equal sign and you select this column divided by that cell. For the same thing, you do it for the other rows. But here it is not like that. You need to display the total sales across the rows in order to compute the percentage. Fine. That is where the all function is very much helpful. It is simply ignoring the filters. Okay. Next one is all selected. So the all selected is very much helpful. Okay. Here, where is the all selected? So far, we discussed a calculate function, calculate table function, filter function. Next, we discussed about the all. Now we will take a look at the all selected function. Here I have used the category column. Okay. Okay, I want to tell you one more thing. When I see this one, I remember that one. Look here, all measure total sales. All measure total sales. This is the one, right? Yeah, all measure total sales. Okay. Here, can I specify a column here instead of table? Can I also specify the column name? Yes, right. That is the syntax here. Column also, you can specify the table name itself, or you can specify the column. You ignore the filter only from the category column. Okay, but we are using country column there. Okay, let's say if I do this one, but since you have used the category column first, right, it ignored all the filter. For example, if I in this case, if I select the Albania again, it works the same way. But here, what is the difference here? Look here, now we can see some other difference here. What is the difference here? Now I selected Albania. Earlier it was showing the lesser value. Now all measure got changed. So in this case, what happens is, what is happening here? Total sales in United Kingdom, the all measure shows 3,55,000. Here, it is not disregarding the category, right? It is not disregarding the category. Okay, let me do one thing. All, wait. All measure, right? All measure total sales. But here, it comes from sales W04. For the time being, I'm going to write this one. Since I have specified the category column here, right? But here I'm using the country column here. Okay. Okay. I will just take this example. Category. Okay, fine. Let it be there. Here I just unselect this one. So I'm going to create another slicer here. This is my slicer. In this case, instead of country, I'm going to use the category here. If I select furniture and technology, what is happening here? In the furniture and technology, how much sales we made. And in this United Kingdom, how much sales we made, it shows. Right here, what happens is all these three categories put together, what is the sales? Okay, because in the all measure, I have used this column category. There is a function called all, right? In the all function, sales W04 category. In that case, what happens? Here, the external and internal filters are disregarded here. Okay, but if I use this thing, what will happen? If I use this, what is happening? It is not disregarding the country related filter, right? Okay. Okay, first let us go step by step. Okay, instead of using the table name, we can use the column name also as part of your all function. Okay, fine. So it is doing the same thing. Fine. And the next one is I'm going to use another DAX function called all selected. All selected, I think already I used it. I just do one thing, all selected. So here I just close this one. I just reuse this one. Go to modeling and select the new measure. Next function is all selected. The all function you understood. Next one is the all selected. Okay, here it removes the context filter from columns around the current query while retaining all other context filters or explicit filters. Okay, so here also the first argument is supposed to be a table name, or you can specify the column also. Either you can specify the table name itself, or you can specify the column. If you specify the table name in all selected, or in the case of all function, all the columns, the text columns that are there in your table, all right, it will ignore the filter. Okay. If you use a table name itself, category, subcategory, or country, all these text columns, it will ignore the filter in both the all and all selected.
Sir,
Instead, what I do is don't ignore all the filter, but only on the specific column, right? You can ignore the filter. That is fine. Yes.
sir,
Yeah.
it is removing the visual filters and keeping the inner filter.
Which one?
The all selected. Is it
Yes, correct.
receive?
You are correct. You are
Okay.
correct. You're absolutely correct. So now you
Okay.
understood, right? He knows that.
Okay.
So all selected here. This is the one. I'm going to use the total sales. All selected sales. I just say all selected sales. Now I select this table. Then the newly created measure, all selected sales, I'm going to drop this here. All selected measure, all selected, yeah, this is the one. Sorry, I just, sorry, I just close this one. Okay, all selected measure. So now it appears at the outset, it appears both all selected as well as the all function does the same thing, right? It repeats the total sales of your all the three category put together. So now what I do is I just go and select the furniture and the technology again. Now you can see all measure and all selected values are different. When I unselect this one, both these values are same. You cannot go literally by, without applying any external filter. You cannot literally decide, both of them are doing the same job. Okay. When you apply the filter here, what is happening here is furniture and technology. When you make a selection in a slicer, what happens? Whatever the visible values, right? The furniture and technology, for these two, what is the total says? This is the one is repeated across the rows. This one gives me the total sales of all these three category. This one gives me it in the case of all selected, it repeats the total sales for the visible categories. Visible category, what? Furniture and technology. For this, what is the total? Okay, this one is getting repeated here. Whereas here, all the three categories put together. So in the case of all selected, what happens is it respects the external filter, which comes from the slicer. Okay, whereas the internal filter disregards it. Furniture, it is not doing the filter. Technology is not doing the filter. Instead, it takes the total value and repeats it here across the rows. Now, if I go one step further and if I ask you, see, rather than asking how much, can you tell me the percentage of sales in, what is the percentage of contribution of sales in United Kingdom out of the total sales by category? You can give this one. If I ask another question, okay, give me the percentage of sales or percentage of revenue that we generate in United Kingdom for these, right, out of the total sales of the visible values. So 1,29,000 divided by this one. So this one divided by this one. For these visible values, what is the percentage? If they ask you, then this is very much helpful. Which one? All selected. Got it? So what I will do is I'll take the same percentage of sales. Oh, no, not this one. And this one, United States. In this case, which one is the numerator, which one is the denominator? The total says United Kingdom divided, the denominator is all selected measure, all selected. Okay, so what I am going to do is I'm going to create a new measure here. The modeling tape, new measure. It's very interesting, isn't it? But it requires a lot of patience, and you need to. You're not supposed to get distracted. Okay, look here. If you make a small mistake, also it can confuse. So sales are all selected here. Okay, in this case, I've used the all selected just for our reference. Okay, total sales in United Kingdom divided by all selected measure. All selected. I just drop this here as new sales. Look here. I just move this one close to, yeah. So now, okay. So this one, 1,29,000 divided by 83 lakh. Okay. And it is right. So 0.82. So instead of 1 million, it's a 10 lakhs. Instead of 10 lakhs, here 1 million, right? Yeah, 1,013,000 lakhs. Here just 0.8 million, right? 0.8 million. It's not a 1 million, it's a 0.8 million. So 1,29,000 divided by 83 lakh, it gives me 0.02. And even this one gives me 0.02. So out of this visible total, what is the revenue contribution by United Kingdom? Okay, what is the visible, right? So, so for only I selected these two categories. For these selected categories, what is the total sales? And what is the revenue, percentage of revenue generated by United Kingdom out of these selected categories? So you need to, take this and divide by this. So what I did, I need to repeat this value here. So take this value divided by this and take this value divided by this. That is what you are getting it here. Now you can answer any kind of questions. So tell me percentage of revenue generated in United Kingdom for compared to the overall sales, all the three categories. You can tell them, hey, this is the 1%, 0.01, 0.02. Okay, fine. So if you ask you, okay, tell me for the visible total, what is the percentage of revenue contributed by United Kingdom for the values that I selected here? So this is the one you can say. Advanced analytics. And the next one is the all except. See, the all selected, what happens is, it's simple here. The all selected, what happens is, it ignores the internal filter. It is not doing the filtering. Okay, see, in this case, what happens? I just unselect this one. So this out of the total sales, right? So when you drag and drop this measure in the empty table or matrix, it gives the total sales only. Along with that, when you drag and drop this category column, automatically it gives me the breakdown of sales by each category. This is implicit filtering. Okay. But whereas in the case of all measure, it ignores the implicit filter, the internal filter. This is your internal or initial filter or internal filter. It ignores this. Instead, it goes by all these three category put. What is the total sales? Repeat it across the rows because I want to compute the percentage. Percentage you cannot directly compute it, right? So science, and the next one, the all selected. All selected also looks similar, but only when you make a selection, you will get to know what is the difference between all and all selected. In the case of all selected, what happens? Only for those items I selected, right? You repeat that total value here. And also ignore this implicit or internal filter. But he obeys for the external filter, but he disrespects the internal filter. Whereas all measure, it disrespects everything. I don't listen to parents' word and the public also. Here, at least he respects the public, but at home he is not listening. Got it? Simple analogy here. Fine? Okay. Next one is all except. I just go here and we will go to the all select. Okay, all selected, all except. Here the all except, remove all filters from a table except for some columns. So here it is simple. The columns, whatever you specified for that column, it will remove all the filters. All the filters that comes from the table except the column that you used, which means it will apply the filter for the columns whatever you used. The internal filter will work here. So let me just see here if I have used all except here, all except good, that I've used it here, all except, for example, this is the classic San Francisco city. All except, okay, here all except measure. Let us see here the total sales in the sales W04. Okay, best thing I'm going to use is all except measure. See here what happens. In the case of all except, the first argument supposed to be a table name, comma, your column name. Okay, column name. So what we are saying is, except the category column, rest of the columns like country column or any other column other than category, you apply the filter. Sorry, don't ignore the filter. Other than category, rest of the columns you can you can ignore the filter. But for category, you don't ignore the filter. For this is the classic example. What we are saying is, if for the yeah, we'll start with this one. Okay, we'll go one by one. All except. Now I just the all except and this one will look similar. This one and this one. This is nothing but sum of sales, right? In sum of sales, and give me the breakdown for each category. The same thing all except it gives you. For example, if I select furniture and technology, let's see what happens. It gives me the same thing, right? Then you might be asking this question. This is the I have this maybe I could have used the implicit filter, implicit measure, or I have used in this case I've used the total sales calc. Okay, fine. But what is the difference between these two? This one also looks like an implicit filter, implicit measure, all except. So what happens? What we are saying here is, for the category column, here we have used the first column is the category column. You apply the filter. Okay, so what kind of scenario we can use it? For example, something like this. Okay, and United Kingdom, what is the city is there? Let me do one thing. I'll just go here because we have used United Kingdom here. And in that case, okay, not this one. I just select. Where is the country column here? What I am going to do, I'm going to select the United Kingdom. United Kingdom. I'm going to select this, and what city we have it here in the city column. Yeah, London. Yeah, London is a very popular place. I'm going to clear this filter now. Make sure that you are clearing the filter, okay? Whenever for testing. So here I'm going to use a London here. Instead of San, I'm going to, London. That's all. Total sales, sum of sales, okay. But for London, what is the total sales? You can find out, and except the category. Don't, filter. Don't disregard the filter for the category. We can say that way also. Don't disregard, which means apply the filter for the category, and for this specific given condition, I'm going to apply this one. Let's say your manager asks you this question: United Kingdom, how much sales we achieved in total? Give me that. In addition, we want to see Okay, probably I will make it London. London is one of the cities, right? I think it is the capital of United Kingdom. Okay, we are done with this. I'm going to close this. See here, what is this here? I think all except. No, I did not see. Yeah, London. Okay, okay, now it is coming here. It takes a lot of time. Just drop this here. Now what I do is I just move this next to the total sales in United Kingdom. So in United Kingdom, give me the breakdown of sales by category for these selected values. Fine. But in London, in United Kingdom, I want to see in London how much sales in total we made in furniture and technology. If you ask this question, the all except function is very much helpful. You understood? But here, though it does the filtering here, so that's why, I said you don't have to, get confused with these two. But here, the all except, I have used the filtering condition. Okay, London, right? So for the London, you give me the breakup, the sales, the sales we made in London by category, or the sales breakdown by category by London. So these are 59,000 we made. But overall in United Kingdom, we have 3,33,000. And what is the, out of the total sales, all the country put together, what is the percentage of sales we made in United Kingdom compared to the total sales, right? So this is the percentage. For the visible total, what is the percentage of sales we achieved in United Kingdom? And then all except, you understood, right? So all except, you can with the filtering condition. In this kind of situation, this is very much helpful. I wanted to display the London all the time. For example, if I select Afghanistan, I selected Afghanistan. So Afghanistan sales is showing here, but the London value remains constant here because we have used the filter condition here. Right? So that is the one we made it. Any of, I don't want to jump in there. Okay, you can just go by this one. Now we understood the difference between all selected, and all except. The all function disregards both the internal and external filter, whereas all selected, it respects the external filter, but it invalidates the internal filter, whereas all except, it disregards all the columns filter except the column that you have used in all except function. That's all. But the other difference in the case of all except, the first argument suppose your table name and the second argument suppose your column name. Even in the all function on all selected, you can either use a table name or you can use a column name also. Got it? Fine. Next, that's all. Again, what I would suggest, right? In this case, all measure total sales. What you do is, look here, if I select the Afghanistan, what is happening? This one is changing, right? So what you do is in the all function, we have used the category column, category, comma, country, you can select it and see what is happening here. That is an assignment for you. Give it a try. Okay. And now the question is, do I need to, but these column names are not much helpful, right? So what you can do is, you can rename it here. You just go here, select this visual, you just select this visual and go here. These are the simple things. Here what you do is, right, instead of giving away the total sales calc and all, right? So what you do is here, you just select this one and then rename for this visual. Okay, here what we do is total sales. This is how you can give some meaningful name for these columns. Fine, we have covered the calculate all except all selected calculate table also, and also we have covered the filter function. You have understood the difference between calculate table and filter function, and we have understood all these all function related. And apart from this, we have something called a remove filter. There is something called remove filter. Remove filter is kind of a syntax sugar. For example, here the all function remove filters, both of them are same. I press enter. But then what is the difference between all and remove filter? All function, it returns a table. If you want to try, in addition to removing the filter, it returns the table. Whereas the remove filter, it will not return the table. That's all here. Remove filter category. So these two are same, the all function and remove filter function also the same. Only thing is the format, 1,13,000 format you can specify. Otherwise, it is same. All selected is different. All except is different. All measure but all and remove filter is both of them are same. So then you might be asking why they have used another measure, another function called remove filter. This is for syntax sugar. But other differences, like I said, all function will return. For example, if you want to duplicate a table, okay, you can use all function. For example, on the left side, you can specify the new table name and then equal sign. After the equal sign, if you use all function, inside that, if you specify some table name, whatever the contents of the table will get copied to the new table. In addition to removing the filter, both internal and external filter, it returns a table. That is the advantage of all function. Whereas the remove filter, it will not return a table. Okay, you cannot duplicate a table. Only thing is it will remove the internal and external filter. And it is a kind of a syntax sugar. See, instead of specifying all, they could have used remove. Remove filter is remove all the internal and external filter. That's all. So these are the, the important functions that you should be aware of it. And the use cases, find the sales percentage for every category, find the sales percentage based on the visual total for the last. This is where I've used the all selected. For this, I've used the all function. Okay. And again, last 2 years of data available, use a slicer to filter 2 categories. That is what we did. Last 2 years, probably we can, include another condition wherein we take only the 2 years data there. Okay, 2 years data, that we will see it later. Okay. Okay, the rest tomorrow, what we will do is we will continue with the table related function. All the table related function, we will take a look at this. Okay, and then we will continue with the top and rank and summarize. If possible, tomorrow I'll cover up everything. Since I have created all these measures, everything readily available, we are able to save a lot of time. But any customization required, I can do it. Right? That's what I did it here. And we will work on the simple assignment before tomorrow. Okay, this is the assignment. What is the assignment? Now you are familiar with all these functions. What you do is you can work on this assignment. Key business questions. How does the total sales made in United States compared to all other countries? Total sales made in the cities, and find the percentage of every city plus SFO in New York, and total sales made in San Francisco. And between these two things, you can give it a try. What is the cumulative daily revenue? You need to give me the cumulative daily revenue also. This one probably will take a look at it as part of the time intelligence functions. Fine, you just give it a try. Any questions so far? Because if I cover other things, right, difficult for you to remember everything. Okay, since you don't have any questions, I'm going to wrap up the session now. And those of you did not attend my sessions, past session, at least you watch the videos for the DAX from the beginning, okay? Because when you see, guys, I'll definitely tell you, when you watch any YouTube video, you will not be able to